Most people never have a problem with wanting things. They want better results. They want a stronger team. They want financial freedom. They want to become the kind of leader that people follow because they believe in them, not because they have to. They want the life on the other side of all the hard work. Wanting is easy. Everybody wants. The question that separates the elite from everyone else isn't what do you want? It's what did you decide? Because a want is a wish, and wishes don't build championships. Decisions do, and here's the difference. A decision has a line in the ground. A decision has a moment where you said, this is who I am now, and everything I do from this point forward answers to that. A want has an exit clause. A want lets you off the hook when it gets hard. A want whispers, maybe tomorrow, maybe when conditions are better, maybe when I feel more ready. A decision says none of that matters. I decided. I move. That's the first word. Decide. And I want to be clear about what a real decision actually looks like, because most people think they've decided when they've actually just wished harder than usual. A real decision isn't made in the excitement of a Monday morning motivation. It isn't made when the energy is high and the belief is flowing and everything feels possible. Real decisions are made in the quiet, in the honest moment when you sit with yourself and say, I know what this is going to cost. I know the mornings I'm going to have to get up when I don't want to. I know the conversations I'm going to have. I know the discomfort I'm going to have to sit in. And I am choosing it anyway, because the version of me on the other side of this is worth everything it takes to get there. That's a decision, and it changes the entire operating system. Because once you've truly decided, motivation becomes irrelevant. You don't need to feel like it. You don't need the conditions to be right. You don't need the team to be perfect, or the timing to line up, or the stars to align. You decided, and decided people move regardless. Now, the second word, commit. Commitment is what a decision looks like under pressure, and pressure is coming. That is not a threat, it is a guarantee. The moment you decide to build something real, something that matters, something worth having, resistance shows up. The numbers slow down, the team gets difficult, the mornings get harder, the doubt gets louder, the people around you start questioning whether you really know what you're doing. And in that moment, your commitment is the only thing standing between where you are and where you decided to go. Commitment is not the feeling of certainty. Commitment is the behavior of someone who decided, even when certainty has left the building. It's showing up to the morning meeting when you don't want to lead it. It's making the calls when the energy is low. It's holding the standard when it would be easier to let it slide just this once. It's investing in your people when your people are frustrating you. It's leading from the front when following would be so much more comfortable. Commitment is the standard you hold when motivation won't. And here's the thing that nobody tells you about commitment at the highest level. It's not just about your results. Your commitment becomes the climate. Your team watches you. Every single day they are reading whether you still believe, whether you're still all in, whether the standard you set at the beginning is still the standard you're holding today. And what they see in you becomes what they feel is possible for themselves. Your commitment doesn't just protect your results, it installs belief in everyone around you. That's why leaders must commit at a level their team can feel, not just strategically, emotionally, behaviorally, in the way they walk into the building, in the way they handle a hard day in front of the people watching them, in the way they refuse to lower the standard when lowering it would be the easy thing to do. Commitment is leadership made visible. Now, the third word, and this is the one that decides everything. Never quit. Not quit when it gets hard, not quit when it stops working the way you planned, not quit when someone tells you that you should. Never quit. And I want to address the thing people don't talk about when they talk about not quitting. Because this isn't about grinding yourself into the ground. This isn't about ignoring the signals your body and your mind are sending you. Not quitting is not the same as not adjusting. The best leaders in this business, the ones who built championship teams, the ones who ran the boards year after year, they adjusted constantly. They changed the approach. They changed the system. They changed themselves. But they never changed the decision. That's the distinction. You can adjust everything except the commitment to the outcome. The path can evolve, the destination does not. Quitting is not changing the path. Quitting is abandoning the destination. And the destination, the person you decided to become, the team you decided to build, the life you decided to earn, that does not get abandoned. Not on a hard Tuesday. Not after a bad month. Not when someone who never fully committed in the first place tells you it can't be done. Because here is what I have watched happen, more times than I can count, to people who refused to quit when quitting felt like the most logical thing in the world. They found out that the breakthrough was one more day away, that the team member they almost gave up on became their top producer, that the skill they almost stopped developing became the thing that separated them from everyone else, that the standard they almost lowered was the exact standard that built the culture that built the dynasty. The breakthrough always lives on the other side of the moment you most wanted to quit. Always. So here's where I want to leave you. 3 words, 3 decisions wrapped into one identity. Decide, not when it's easy, but when it's real. When you know what it costs, and you choose it anyway. When the line goes in the ground and you don't negotiate with your staying behind it. Commit, not to the feeling of certainty, but to the behavior of someone who has already decided. Hold the standard when motivation won't. Show up when it's inconvenient. Lead from the front when following would be easier. Let your team see what it looks like to be all in, so they know what all in actually looks like. And never quit. Not the path, because the path is allowed to evolve, but the decision, the destination. The identity of someone who does what they said they would do, who builds what they said they would build, who becomes who they said they would become. Determination is not a feeling. It is a decision repeated under pressure, day after day, rep after rep, morning after morning, until the decision becomes the identity, until the commitment becomes the culture, until never quitting is no longer something you have to remind yourself to do, because it is simply who you are. Decide, commit, never quit. That's how you build something that lasts.